Hi, I'm Supermoon Tarot, and in today's video, we are going to be finding out how can you allow love into your life more easily. I love this. This was actually a suggestion by my spirit guide. I had another idea in mind that I'm still gonna do this week, and they stepped in and they were like, do this one instead. And I love this one, specifically because here's the thing, love is such a big word because love works for romantic relationships, but love also works in the idea of abundance, because when we radiate a certain concept, the universe matches that. So if we radiate something so good feeling, maybe that's too simple of a term, we receive it. And love fulfills the idea of abundance. So if you want to, attract more money, you're welcome to have that. If you want to attract more knowledge, it gives you that too. But it's this warm, lovely feeling that can be benefited from both you connecting with other people. Every time you experience something, love is a form of passion and inspiration. It's a really big word for just 4 letters. So it's absolutely beautiful. And notice, and this is the other cool thing, notice my spirit guide said allow, not create. It's already inside you. It's just about, sort of getting out of the way, letting it flow through you. It's already naturally flowing through you, or trying to. And you're trying to basically reconnect to what's already there. So no matter how much you feel disconnected, no matter how much it seems like it's out of place or quote unquote broken or off or something like that, it's just not. That might be your perspective of it, but it's just not. And that perspective is sort of resistance. And we're going to see what we can do to open you up more, which I love. And before I get into this, I wanted to say real quickly, thank you guys so much for your patience. I apologize. I was gone for a couple days. I like to roller skate, and I was roller skating. And I thought when I was going over this bump or this patch of grass, it was just a patch of grass. And well, there was a chunk of asphalt missing, and I fell on my butt so hard that I couldn't sit or lie down for a couple days. It was pretty serious, and I'm happy to report that I'm fine, everything's okay, but I just couldn't do the videos when I couldn't sit for them. So everything's better now, and I just want to say thank you so much for allowing me to, go take care of what I needed to take care of. I'm just laughing to myself because it's funny. I went and I was talking to my spirit guides about the spiritual reason I fell, because everything has a meaning, and they said I did that to pull myself, force myself to be more present, because I need to be more present. And I was like telling my internal subconscious self, like, okay, I've learned my lesson, please don't do that again. Message received. So anyways, I just thought I'd share that with you because I think this stuff's terribly fascinating. So as you can see, we have 4 groups in front of us. I want you to take a moment and allow love to be an idea that you could receive. You're just saying to yourself, I allow this possibility. And with this idea in your head, I'm going to give you a moment to pick the group that you resonate with most. Now that you have, I forgot to say 1, 2, 3, 4, but I think you got it. Now that you've picked your group that you resonate with, you can go down to the description where you can go to your designated marked timestamp and skip to that group. But let's get started with group number 1. Group number 1. Let's find out, how can we allow love more easily to come into your life by looking at the cards. We've got 6 of Cups in reverse. That's understandable. Wheel of Fortune in reverse, the Hermit card upright, and 3 of Swords in reverse. Oh, okay, okay. Well, this is essentially pretty easy by simplicity, but we're going to dig a little deeper and get a little more specific so we can navigate you and guide you. Because it's not to ramble here, but I like to get as specific as possible. You know what I mean? So, in the Wheel of Fortune card in reverse, the main source of contention is there has been a continuous cycle going on that needs to be broken. A loop, if you will. And it's sort of like a pattern of how things develop with you and others romantically. This could be specifically the kind of person you date. Oh, I'm being told no. I was going to give this as the second suggestion, but my spirit guide's like, no, it's based on how you react in a romantic situation or when experiencing love in general. And so when you're interacting, we want to change that. We want to see how you respond differently, how you can accept things differently. Just get out of the scenario, because if there's only one scenario, there's only one sort of reaction or ending, and we want to allow multiple endings, multiple reactions, and one of those endings and reactions is allowing it in more fluidly and more comfortably for you. But the problem here is two things when we have the Six of Cups in reverse and the Three of Swords in reverse, both understandable. So the Six of Cups in reverse, I can tell there's something specifically in the past being brought up. Now, in the past, this could be a specific person that kind of started it all. This could be enough evidence shown to you over a long enough time period that your brain has accepted this as sort of the default. So now all repeating cycles just go back to this idea of like, you can't help to kind of return back to this scenario, like with a bunch of different sort of interactions with people. And it doesn't even have to be just romantic partners. It can be the way you've been treated repeatedly by, maybe even family members or something like that. But there's something from the past that's had enough repetition that's basically keeps dictating this essentially. And so here you are in the Hermit card, which is great. This is a compliment to what you've been trying to overcome. You are actively, pulling away from others, trying to be like, oh, I'm being corrected. Never mind, you're not pulling away from others. My spirit guides shaking their head. They're like, no, they're not pulling away from others. It's more so that what I want to continue saying is it's not that you're pulling away from others, but you are actively looking inwards and saying, what can I do to break this cycle? You're aware of the cycle and you're trying to do something about it. You're looking over it. You're being pretty upfront with yourself and self-analytical and being like, am I responding this way? Are they responding this way? You're not hiding from anything. You're not unaware of the bigger scenario. And yet all that, what's the word? I guess self-analytical, I think was the term I just used, is just not seeming to add up to anything. This is due to the Three of Swords in reverse. Now, in this particular case, the Three of Swords represents the idea that you're kind of not quite hitting the main pinpoint of what it is you need to be overcoming. The Three of Swords in many scenarios represents the idea that it is a mindset that needs to be let go of, overcome. It's a very painful one, so it's very difficult to remove those, swords from the heart, but it's to let go of that would then sort of open you up, as we are mostly talking about essentially. But in this scenario, in Three of Swords in reverse traditionally refers to someone who is kind of brushing things under the rug, they're skipping over it, they're things aren't working out for them. It's just not, it's just like, let's move on. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm tired of it. That's not the case with you. It's more that you're trying to fix it. You're trying to be upfront, but you keep accidentally dodging around the main problem because maybe you don't even know what it is. So we're going to get more specific into that. So let's first look at a little insight into this. Okay. More cards to be pulled. That's fine. So, I just realized that, I don't know if it came across this way in the video, but I unintentionally sound like, all right, more cards, but I love pulling more cards. So with the Hanged Man, it talks about we need to gain a new perspective. That's pretty obvious. Let's figure out what's the new perspective you need to gain in order to overcome this blockage, in order to then break through this cycle, release you from the past, and finally help you move on. So let's see. Okay. Love this. So the Five of Cups in reverse is sometimes, so if you're reading tarot, in order to like really be as upfront and as redundant as possible, the cards or whoever you're speaking to, in my case, I'm talking with my spirit guides about all of this, they will repeat cards to let you know, like, hey, I'm here, I'm listening to the subject, we're still on the subject, I'm just being absolutely clear, this is the most important subject we need to talk about. And Five of Cups in reverse is, again, repeating what we talked about over here in the Three of Swords in reverse, of saying, we need to let go of this grief. We need to let go of this pain. We need to let go of it. And how we can do that is through the Magician card. Now, this is specifically talking about you mastering 4 different things. By mastering and understanding these 4 different things, these are just 4 specific things to pinpoint the ideas that you're accidentally kind of skipping around, essentially, you can in turn, like I said, break the cycle. Now, normally the Magician card represents 4 different elemental concepts, and these elemental concepts refer to things like actions, thoughts, feelings. How did you take action when you were experiencing love? How did you respond logically with the swords in the mind? But in this scenario, that's not important. It's just the number 4. There's just 4 things we need to look into. So let's pull some more cards to figure out what those are. Okay. This makes me laugh. I love that she's on her cell phone. And, oh, we got the Magician card again. No wonder. See, I had a feeling you were like more than fine. When we get the Hermit card and the Magician card twice, I know who I'm working with. This is why I can sense it's probably extra frustrating when we have the Hermit card and 2 Magician cards. Even if the Magician card is in reverse, it still implies this, that you're incredibly intelligent, capable, very self-aware. You're quite powerful. This is somebody who is powerful based on their kind of proactiveness and their, like, when you're trying to figure something out, it comes easily to, is the best way I can put it. But I'm not just talking about skills, like general skills. I'm talking on a much more wider intuitive level that translate over multiple subjects. You're very talented, essentially. So when something isn't working out or being fixed, so to speak, it's super frustrating. You're someone who is trying, and normally in any other scenario is smart enough and intuitive enough to see all the obvious, problems that need to be fixed or worked on, and then you're happy to do that. And so when it's not working, it's super frustrating. So I'm just adding to, I'm just, having compassion for you, essentially. But anyways, going on here are the 4 things. So in the Justice card, we can see that you have to be aware of or work on or look at the idea of equal exchange of love. Now, it's not implying you're not putting in enough love. I mean, maybe in some scenarios, but I don't think so. And my spirit guide is shaking their head no. It's more the awareness of, if you're fully embodying and understanding the concept and expect and understand that the idea of balance is the best way I can put it. If you're putting in a certain amount of effort and love, and you're not receiving that back in equal exchange, the scales are tipped. And well, that's just uncomfortable. Think of them as your internal scales, wanting to be balanced at all times. So by you fully understanding this idea and not accepting anything less, when you experience somebody not returning that love, it's about understanding and going, okay, I see you. Well, I'm going to have to turn away from you, not in hate or being mad at them or saying, you don't deserve my love. It's more of a, oh, I see you will not exchange this love equally. Well, I'm not going to give and give and give and give and give until I get it back. You're showing me I'm not going to get that back. And that is the intention and action I'm looking for from others. And I can get, and then, you can receive it from others. That's important. We're going to go over that topic in a second. The second thing over here, this is actually the 10 of Swords. I love that everything's fine. So funny. This is about being aware that you do not have to allow, when something ends, you don't have to allow it to get to the level it does. This does apply for many of you, the scenario that you've had a couple really bad separations. This doesn't even have to just be breakup romantic. This can be breakup like friends. And whatever this is, it gets to such a point towards the end where you're like, and that just in some scenarios, this is like the magnitude you could allow it to, essentially. it could get to such a scenario and point that you're like, screw it, this is the situation, whatever, I'm gonna let this self implode on itself. It's overwhelming to experience. Think of this as an idea. Why do you think you need to experience the worst of the worst, or allow it to get this bad? And we're talking about, instead of just someone casually fading away, they're ghosting you, it's not working out, you separate naturally over the course of time from not hanging out. I'm talking bad, like fights, they do something terrible to you, like cheat or full on ditch you, and you see they're actively hanging out with other people, and it feels almost spiteful in a way. Whatever that may be, it's about saying to yourself, why do you need to allow it to get to that level? You clearly, based on somebody who looks like they can see it coming and they're kind of giving up here with our imagery down here, you can see it coming. You can stop it before it gets that bad. And something to contemplate. If you can allow that much pain into your life, then you most definitely can allow that much love. This is a positive clue and indicator of what you're more than capable of if you just switch a certain mindset. And when you get to that point where you start to notice it getting bad, notice it's kind of maybe not working out and you need to separate or get out of the scenario, you can essentially say to yourself, I'm going to redirect my attention, maybe not towards them, but towards someone else, of how much love I want to allow into my life. I'm not going to keep allowing this, because then that's all that's going to move into your life. Think of yourself as like an antenna of what you're receiving. You can change the signal. You can change the focus when you start to notice it get this bad. Because when things get this bad and you allow it, then all you're doing is recovering from this. And you don't even have to go through the recovery mode, because you already saw what was going to happen and you could pull away. And when you see it happening, it doesn't mean a foreshadow that it will happen. It just means that when it will happen, or if it will happen, when you identify it way long in advance, you have enough of the past, as we talked about, you don't have to need more proof in the long run. You've already seen the scenario, catch the scenario before it happens. So you don't have to spend more of your time recovering than redirecting it towards allowing love. And it's something to consider. Why do you do that? You know what I mean? Over here with the Seven of Cups, I love this. This is about being self-aware and saying it to yourself more, that love comes in many forms. It does not have to be one person or one scenario. Again, I'm referring to both romantic love and friendship love and family love. All of that type of scenario, you need to constantly say throughout the day, inside your head and out loud, I love looking at this object. This object brings me happiness. That's a form of love. Some stranger was kind enough to hold the door open for me. Look at this kind of love. We don't even know each other, and there's just a general sense of being kind to one another. Again, someone's kind to you that's more closer to you, a friend, a romantic partner. You say to yourself, well, here's another kind of love. And as you slowly start to say to yourself and the world, oh, wow, it's all around me, and I'm willing to receive it. I'm currently receiving it, and I'm acknowledging I'm receiving it. So when something doesn't feel like it's going well, instead of this pulling all your focus, and then all your focus is saying it's one love and the love isn't working out, and that's all I can see and receive, you can say to yourself, there's lots of love. And yes, I can redirect it before it gets bad, but I'm never without. I'm always with, and tons of different options to choose from. And so it's not about then ditching the one option that isn't working out. It's about acknowledging if one thing isn't going well, that doesn't mean you're without love. You're still fully abundant because you're perceiving it in so many different ways. And it's more about an individual experience you're having, and then you can redirect where you'd like to change that type of love to someone else, again, friendship or romantic otherwise. But understanding that you are always abundant by practicing and acknowledging all the different ways it can happen. And then last but not least, the Magician in reverse. I know we talked about the 4 different things to experience, which we talked about over here, which is this. But when it's in reverse traditionally, and this is what it talks about, this is when somebody thinks, how do I put this? They're going through an imposter syndrome. Don't think that you don't know what you're doing, that you don't know how to love, that you don't know how to navigate when it's going to get bad, that you don't know how to navigate how to identify what is love to you and what it isn't. By saying, well, I don't know, you're kind of basically putting up a wall from you not only saying, well, I don't know what love is, so how would I even know if I'm experiencing it? So it creates your kind of inner compass to attracting love as sort of haywire, because that's what you're getting back, essentially, a menage of good and bad of what you would like to potentially experience. But it's also saying, like, hey, if something isn't turning out my way, and then therefore I need to get out of the cycle, break the loop, get out of experiencing this, you know, when we have the Magician card in reverse, it implies you do know what to do, but you're just not giving yourself confidence and allowing yourself to believe your own intuition, your own, it's bigger than that. The Magician card's bigger. It's intuition, it's logic, it's experience, it's everything. You're capable. You are more than capable, energy and experience-wise. So allow yourself to be. And if you feel that inner doubt kicking in, you're going to have to kick it back and say, nope, doesn't matter what that inner voice is saying. I do know what I'm doing. I do know something feels wrong. I do know that I don't like this feeling that this person is experiencing or presenting to me. And so I can choose, because I always have a choice, as we talked about, to go differently. And I'm going to listen to that more. I'm going to build up my own inner trust and confidence with that. So I love that. Essentially, we're going to help you break that cycle from the past based on the pinpoints that you're accidentally not seeing, and being able to see it and gain a new perspective is right over here. So I love this for you. I'm very excited. I hope you are excited too. If you enjoyed this reading, please consider giving the video a like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. It helps out like you would not believe, and maybe even a share. Have a lovely day. I am sincerely wishing you the best. I'm so excited. Please tell me in the comments below, how are you allowing love into your life more today? And I'll see you in the next one. Let's get ready for group number 2. Group number 2. We've got 2 of Cups upright, 2 skidoo. How appropriate. Queen of Cups in reverse. The Death card upright, and Temperance in reverse. Oh, okay. Interesting. I'm just looking at everything, and my spirit guide was like, this is the important card. And I was like, it is? And they were like, it's always the most important card. And I was like, okay. The more you know. Okay, so let's get started. I'm definitely pulling more cards. So right here is our first sort of indicator. It is not only talking about, it's interesting. I wouldn't necessarily call it a blockage. It's like something that you are still removing, if that makes sense. So this talks about the transformative kind of experience you're going through right now, and that in order to move forward, and we can talk about where you're moving forward to, you need to let some things go. And these things being let go are no longer serving you. It's just not a part of your equation anymore. It's not who you are anymore. And the best way I can put it is, you know how, let's say in the past you used to watch a lot of movies and you don't anymore, and you were really known for it. And now you love to listen to podcasts. And everyone just keeps bringing up about, your movies. Hey, I thought you used to watch movies. I bought you a DVD. And you just kind of are at a point where you're like, I can't even shyly push it away anymore. No, I listen to podcasts. Thank you so much for bringing that up and trying to connect and understand me, but I'm not going to be defined that way anymore. We're not even going to talk about it anymore because it doesn't make sense to me anymore. You know what I mean? Now, I do want to talk about the ways you're going through this transformative experience and things you can work on that will make the process feel a lot easier, and some of the other things you're going to be leaving behind. But one of the things you're moving towards is this flower. My spirit guide is referring it to as the, how did they say it? Flower of knowledge. Sorry, they're correcting me right now. Flower of knowledge. Now, this flower of knowledge is, how do I put this? It's like wisdom and things you're understanding. You're moving towards being in a constant state of understanding of love, but not purely through logic. This would be through, like, understanding wisdom through feeling, through your heart, through understanding wisdom through intuition. It's like multiple forms. It's like a more intangible, harder to define type of wisdom, but I know you're keeping up and understanding what I'm saying, but you're basically moving towards love in a more understanding based kind of way, seeing, evaluating, experiencing, learning, and you want to be very open to this, and you want to be able to like point it out. I'm trying to put this into words without rambling too much. You're moving towards this type of wisdom to not only enjoy love more, but be able to really develop that concept and fully embrace it by understanding every radius of it, by taking sort of a analytical approach without the words necessarily being analytical, because analytical would only imply logic. And we talked about, your heart and intuition and stuff like that. Do you see what I'm saying going towards here? And so let's talk about what's no longer serving you and how we can get you more going towards your knowledge flower, your love knowledge flower, as we can put it. So one of the things I can see over here is in the Queen of Swords in reverse. I can see her very smart. That makes sense that you're sort of carrying logic over, but in a much more expansive way, not just simply in your head and thinking about it. Like I said, it's a much bigger concept. But when we have a Queen of Swords in reverse situation, this is somebody who is incredibly skilled at being cruel to themselves. They are able to identify what they perceive as every truth. In your head, it's true. And it's being used in an extremely unhelpful way that's limiting, hurtful, and just plain old not fun to experience. It's not working anymore for you. You're thinking in your head, well, I know what I'm saying, I know what I'm doing, I'm being honest with myself. Or are you only seeing the situation in one perspective? I see, like, example, let's say you're putting yourself down in a specific way. I'm trying to pick a way that would not actually trigger anyone. I don't know. You always like to wear polka dots. And you're like, well, I do. I always like to wear them and they're horrible. And it's like, yes, you do like to wear polka dots, and maybe it might not be your favorite pattern, but polka dots also mean that you have a flair for style. And so by default, it's true. You have a flair for style. You like to try different things out that maybe other people don't try out. So there is an innate uniqueness. There is more than one perspective, and you're choosing the cruel one. And you have a certain level of trust with your inner logic and the way you see the world and truth, but you're bending it and twisting in a way that's not helpful anymore. And that will be left behind permanently when we have the Death card. And then we have the Two of Cups upright over here. In the Two of Cups scenario, this card talks about the idea of, are you understanding how, and when we talk about that wisdom and everything like that, do you understand what you truly want in another person? Now, I'm going to keep this wider of a scale. So for some of you, it's a romantic partner. Some of you, it's an experience in general with other people, like friendship, coworkers, whatever that may be. And when we have a Two of Cups scenario, this is when somebody is getting every single thing they possibly could ask for in equal exchange. So we're talking about someone who is equivalently, putting in effort, equivalently asking for love, equivalently showing their emotions, equivalently taking in your needs, equivalently saying, like, example, if you live together and it's a romantic situation, they're going out of their way to help you with like daily chores and stuff like this. This is truly a partnership. But I don't want to use the term equivalency like barter or like I do this, you do that. It's that they care as much as you. That's the best way I could put it. And based on what I'm seeing in the Queen of Swords situation and the Death card and the Temperance card, you are more of an all or nothing person than you are maybe allowing yourself to be. And this is the road you want to go down to. And I can just even tell you from my own personal experience, you can have all or nothing. You don't have to compartmentalize your love anymore. When you want to have anything against any sort of connection, you're allowed to not have them just fulfill this one little, like, well, maybe they're fun, but you can't talk about the deep stuff with them. No, you can have both. And this is what you should demand of others. And if they can't fulfill that, well, that's just not going to float your boat. And not because you have overly high expectations or you're closed off. It doesn't mean obviously you would be cruel to them or kick them out of your life completely. But who kind of enters your space of love and who you'd like to invest more time into is people who also equivalently see the value in sharing and exchanging it, seeing the value in you and wanting to give that to you in exchange. Because why shouldn't you feel 300% or 130%, whatever the terminology is here, all the time with this person? This person should be someone that you can go to for anything. And again, we talk about romantic and friendship wise. Now we're going to pull some more cards here because the Temperance card's pretty interesting what's going on over here, because the Temperance card implies there's this feeling going on right now where, due to the Death card, keep in mind this card is pretty overwhelming for a lot of people to experience. It can be confused with your life is somehow not going your way or falling apart, when in fact you could say the falling apart is the shedding of the things that doesn't work anymore, and you're actually going towards something positive and it isn't falling apart. But because it feels like that, right now we have a Temperance card in reverse. This is just feeling off, super unbalanced, feeling like things are kind of in disarray. Too much of this over here, not enough over here, and it's causing a sort of disconnection in, let me just ask my spirit guide real quickly. Both, yeah, okay, energy and emotions. So, we want to get you out of that feeling and help you get out of this scenario essentially and be more comfortable with what's going on over here. So I'm being told to pull more cards. Interesting. Yeah, see, I love this. Okay. So this is kind of, this is interesting. This is more of a perspective thing. So when we have a King of Cups scenario in reverse, this is going to naturally go away, if you will. You are pulling away from this attention. If there's any sort of sparks of it, or you feel like inklings of it due to how you're feeling in response to what we talked about over here with this card underneath here, this is going to be going away, which is great, due to where you're putting attention. So King of Cups in reverse we'll just simply define it as emotional imbalance. But this is when emotional imbalance can get kind of, how do I put this? It can result in anything, such a wide range of, from codependency to jealousy. It's someone who's naturally pretty intuitive, and when they're so insightful and they feel off with their insightfulness, it leads to an array of uncomfortable, complex emotions. It's like feeling emotionally imbalanced in a very complex, you're highly aware kind of a way. It's just super uncomfortable. And you're going to be moving away from that, which we love. So with the Nine of Pentacles over here and the King of Pentacles, this is an important dynamic I want to talk about. This is important indeed. So we're going to just look at the way she's looking. She's admiring and wants what the King of Pentacles has. In her head, she's just working in the garden. She's a worker in his kingdom, and she'd like the good things. She wants to understand how he's approaching being a leader in order to have that, to have what he has. And she's just kind of taking for granted, and we're going to use that terminology here, and you'll find out in a second why, because she thinks she's just working on the day-to-day. Nothing's being necessarily accomplished in the way she would like it to. She's not even in the field she'd like to be in, is the best way I can put it. And the King of Pentacles, and what she wants to have, is a master of we're going to just keep this really general here, because we're more talking about belief systems, so we'll just use the term belief system here. He's a master of it. He's really good at it. It's because he loves the act of learning and understanding how to work at his belief system, and because he's so good at it, enjoys the journey and the process so much, he can create it, he can attract it, he can understand it. He's just totally good at what he's doing. And there's this, and I'm not saying anyone else in particular has this, but think of the King of Pentacles being something you see in other people, in other scenarios. You're like, yeah, I want to have what they have. I want to attract love like that. I want to have an understanding like that. But here's the thing, you're the Nine of freaking Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles is someone who's already achieved it, and they are living it up in their garden. See, here she's distracted. She thinks it's just a garden. But that garden, in many scenarios, this refers to as money. We're talking about belief system here and like love and like you already have the tools, so to speak. But the idea here is that you're taking for granted for what taking for granted is just not the word. I apologize that I'm tripping over my words a little bit in this one. I'm tired. You can hear it in my voice. I didn't go to bed for very late, so my voice is a bit scratchy. But keep sticking with me. I'm almost done here. With the Nine of Pentacles, this is somebody who has worked hard and they've received their wealth and therefore they're enjoying it. It usually is related to things like luxury. Go spend that wealth. Go enjoy that wealth. You've earned it. You're doing great. You've accomplished it. You're receiving it now. And this is talking about you already are incredibly smart and worked hard, and you are basically at the edge of this transformation in the sense that edge as in receiving it, be on the other side, everything being done. You've put in the work for the transformation. You've put in the work in life in order to receive this transformation. It's already right there. Stop thinking it's outside of your circle. You're in the circle. You're in the situation that you want. You're just not realizing it. Again, when we talk about the perspective of someone just thinking they're working in the garden of someone else's, no. This is your garden. You created it. You can sell that food. You can live and eat from that food. You've created it. It's time to now enjoy it, essentially. Now, I'm being told by my spirit guides to pull 2 more cards. This is our last one. Notice the flowers in the cups over here. My spirit guide's telling me this is the same flower. The last thing you should know is about the past. My spirit guide, how'd they put this? They said, sorry, like I just heard it and then like went out the window. So I'm just going to paraphrase what they said because I always like to exactly say what they said. They said something along the lines of like, don't push away the past. Don't like think it's bad or evil what you've experienced in order to receive and understand love. There is wisdom there. There is, and you know it. But don't also live in the past. You don't need to push it away, and you also don't need to only keep going back to those certain memories, back to those ideas and being like, that was when I was really happy. That's when I experienced this, this, and this. You're allowed to now experience new things. You're right. You have experienced wisdom, and that those little seeds, those little flowers that you've received in the past have added up to you wanting and to accomplish even more. But now it's time to add to it. Don't get trapped. You're meant to transform. You're meant to move forward. And the Wheel of Fortune card over here is just saying like breaking the cycle, stop doing this. You're doing this often, essentially. So anyways, thank you so much for your patience. I was a little bit tripped up today being able to speak, but I'm glad the messages still came through. So if you enjoyed this reading, please consider giving it a like, comment, subscribe, maybe even a notification bell. That'd be so helpful and appreciated. Maybe even a share too. Helps out the channel like you would not believe. Have a beautiful day. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I'm wishing you the best and looking forward to hearing more love come into your life. Please tell me how love is coming into your life more every day. I'd love to hear about that. And I'll see you in the next one. Let's get ready for group number 3. Group number 3. Let's find out how can we allow love into your life more easily by looking at the cards. We've got 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Ace of Pentacles upright. 3 of Pentacles in reverse. And 2 of Pentacles in reverse. Oh, I'm actually being told by my spirit guide to pull another card, and this is going to be our sort of theme card. Oh, okay, all of this makes a lot more sense, as you do with tarot. This is what's so great about tarot. So all of these cards have tons of flexible meanings, and it can do a lot for your reading when you have a scenario. These cards mean something different depending on every question. So yeah, the Queen of Pentacles, I love that. That's a game changer. So, okay, let's start off with your Queen of Pentacles. So the main thing you're going to be working on is sort of crafting your idea and perspective of love together, which I love. And we are going to get more specific than this, because that's who the Queen of Pentacles is. She is a master of her, often this is referred to as money, but it also can refer to belief system. And she's a master of her belief system. She totally knows what works and what doesn't work. So she can easily manifest, in this case, love. Again, this can be romantic or friendship or whatever. We're talking about broader sense. But she can easily attract anyone she wants and the type of experience she'd like to have, because she's very clear about what it is that she wants. And I want to be clear about this. She's clear about it due to experience and practice. And that's what we have going on over here in the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. So let's get more specific now. We're going to talk about how you can do that. So the Eight of Pentacles says you're going to create a list. And this list is going to be sort of a forging together of any time you liked something. I want you to just really dig deep. Take your time. What made you happy and when it made you happy? And do not be afraid or shy from including everything. Even if you're more set on a romantic partner, doesn't matter. Still include anytime you felt this sort of act of love or coziness. It doesn't even have to be a single act of love, just like a nice experience between you and someone else, whether this be friendship, family, whatever. So think in your head, I really liked when me and this other person, we experienced, we were really sharing a lot of deep secrets. I want to share deep secrets with somebody. Somebody was always thoughtful and, did little things where they got you an extra snack when they were out, or they held the door open for you, something like that. And you think in your head, I really like that. I liked being shown love in that kind of way. And you kind of sort of whittle together what it is that you enjoyed from everything. But now it's not about living in the past, and that's not going to be a problem for you. It's about creating the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles is that seed, that belief system that she's holding over here. This is what you're going to plant. This is the new thing. It's being forged together by what you have already experienced, and it's going to evolve into something new, because it has to have some sort of substance before it can, build off of it. So we're going to look a little bit of what you did like, but build something new from it. And so we're going to have that seed planted. Now, going off of that, there's two more things I want to talk about that are important to know. That will help that process of forging together, is the best way to put it. And these are important because these two little things can kind of cancel out everything else, so to speak, and kind of take up too much of your attention or cause you to make exceptions. That's how I want to put it. So here's the big exception rule when we have the Three of Pentacles in reverse. You are not meant to take input from others when it comes to your personal experience with love. So when you are feeling some sort of connection to someone, this goes for, of course, if your partner sort of, has some sort of other romantic connection with someone, they're starting to feel that. You're not meant to share. You're like, no, I don't want to share with other people. I'm not here to hear that you're comparing me to someone else. But obviously that kind of is a given, right? I'm talking also about the idea of maybe their friends have an opinion, or your friends have an opinion. Other people are coming in and defining your love, whether that be by their interaction with other people flirting with your partner, or other people coming in and saying, well, I think this, or that's not right, or did you consider this, or, I see this from the past, or something. It's about cutting that out and saying, this exchange is just between me and this other person. And however I perceive it is how I perceive it. And however they treat me is based on how they treat me, not by the influence of others. And it's a very strong concept that I don't want to say needs to be in your life. It's more of like that's subconsciously what you want. So if you feel like your partner starts to make decisions and you can tell it's from the influence of others, that would be when a conversation would need to happen for you in the relationship to be like, listen, is that what you think, or is that how you're being influenced to think based on your friends? And if you feel that scenario is coming up, it's that idea of like, well, this isn't going to work because I just want to be with you, not you and the opinions of others. And that includes for yourself. And I want to be clear about this too, we're mostly talking about with like interactions with others and stuff like that, but that also includes the idea where if that placeholder is being fulfilled by like magazines, outside perspective of the media saying this is what love is, that's not fitting in your wheelhouse. That's not going to work for you. It's just about what you see and experience and feel and want to interact and respond to, and them, and that's it. And the other thing popping up is over here in the Two of Pentacles in reverse. This is super important because sometimes when we experience something that isn't going our way, it can be easy to feel dissuaded, start to think something's going wrong, and it get to us emotionally. But it's actually a clue. This is actually something a lot of people don't realize. So when you feel an emotion, instead of just realizing like, well, I feel bad, well, you're feeling bad because you're telling yourself something. If you start to mess up, you're telling yourself something. Things are happening for a reason. You are interacting with this universe, and this universe is responding back to you. You are telling yourself things. So when we have a Two of Pentacles in reverse situation, this is when somebody is starting to feel, to put it lightly, it's like you're overwhelmed and you start to have these small little mess ups, these errors. You start to not feel like yourself. You start to drop papers in a puddle of rain. I don't know why this is the metaphor I'm going for, but this is like a work scenario, right? So when you're in love and you start to feel like you're slipping up, you start to have maybe an outburst of, maybe you lose your temper for a moment, you get angry, or you start to forget how, maybe you forgot someone's birthday. I don't know. I can't, you get what I'm saying. Like a, just small little things where you feel like you're messing up in love is the best way I can put it. It's about realizing you're telling yourself something. And what that something is that you're feeling overwhelmed and you need to slow down and lighten your load. Two of Pentacles is all about you're balancing, you're handling multiple things, you're doing a great job. And when it's in reverse, it's saying something is starting to feel off balance. Something is too much and it's getting to you. And you're trying to let yourself know you're taking on too much. And when we say taking on too much in love, this could be within the relationship itself. It could be like, you're messing up in your relationship because you care about it so much, but you're overwhelmed in general in life. And this is not about, critiquing that or criticizing you. It's about saying, when you see it happening, it's not about getting swept up and being hard on yourself and being like, there's something wrong with me. It's going, oh, whoops. Now I know I'm just taking on too much. I'll go lighten my load and do a little less and relax a little bit. And seeing that it's not even a hiccup or anything messing up, but you communicating with yourself. And then essentially by backing off, feeling better, and then in turn feeling a little more in sync with love. So that way you can kind of basically not waste your time criticizing yourself. So we love that. So that way you can be your Queen of Pentacles. You can forge together your love, as we talked about, with a nice written list in order to kind of move forward with that idea. And remember, that idea is meant to be added on. Do not always refer back to that list and not allow it to be expanded upon. More when we have a seed, that means more is to come, more to branching off of that. But in addition to that, keep these things in mind for your list, as well as to prevent yourself from, getting hard on yourself and unnecessarily pulling yourself down when you don't need to. So if you enjoyed this reading, please consider giving it a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Helps out like you would not believe. Have a beautiful day. I am wishing you the best. And please tell me, how are you allowing love into your life more? Please let me know in the comments below. I love reading them. I'll see you in the next one. And let's get ready for group number 4. Group number 4. Let's find out, how are you going to be allowing love into your life more easily by looking at the cards. we've got Queen of Wands upright, Judgment upright, the Empress of... Wow, and the Emperor in reverse. We got no house, no home. Oh my goodness. Oh, you're fine. This is okay. Get pumped, get excited. This is not what maybe you had anticipated. There is still work to be done, but there's not going to be a lot of effort or things you have to, you'll see what I'm saying in a second. You're doing a lot better than you're allowing yourself to actually receive or be. So let's get started first over here. We have both the Empress and the Emperor in reverse. This is somebody who feels incredibly disconnected and off. But here's the ironic thing. Where you feel without is actually implying you are with. You are just thinking you're without. You're not allowing yourself to realize you actually are with it. And I'm going to get more specific in a second. But you're actually doing fine. You're just disconnecting to it sort of emotionally, you could say. So the Empress, when she's upright, she's abundant. It's like her default. It's actually a really cool scenario to be, because with the Empress card, compared to other manifestation cards, they are able to manifest based on like what they've experienced or learned or worked towards. She, at her core, is abundant. She doesn't have to lift a finger. She steps a foot forward and flowers bloom underneath her feet. She is just with. And when it's in reverse, you feel off from that. You feel needy. You feel like something is like you really need that extra sense of comfort and support, and you feel completely without. That's why that, again, I know needy is usually not a desirable term, but go with me here. She needs, it's someone who needs. But here's the thing. She needs because her default is abundance. So when she feels without, it's an extra level of intensity, while other people are looking towards abundance and moving towards it and choosing to have it. That's, if she doesn't have that, she's not her. You know what I mean? It's an extreme feeling. So there's no criticism here, because the funny thing is I can see it, but I'm being told by my spirit guide, like, you actually are abundant. You're fine. You might not feel that way. You might not be connecting to that, but you're actually doing above average. Same thing here with the Emperor in reverse. When he's upright, he really knows what he's doing and feels confident in the long-term future, because it's all about foundation. This is somebody who has got a solid foundation, and foundation is like belief system. Like, they know what they want, they know how to approach things, and so as they build a relationship on top of their foundation, it's very strong. They know that everything has a better chance of working out and existing because nothing's going to tip over. It's stable, essentially. This is somebody you can really trust, and is kind of unmovable in a really great kind. We always talk about flexibility being really good, but this is the type of unmovableness you want, and your core being, so to speak. But when it's in reverse, it feels like there's a bunch of cracks, and you're trying to put band-aids over these huge problems that need to be solved. But you might feel that way, but you're actually fine. Again, I understand the feelings there, but you need to look a little deeper, because it's fine. Definitely, before I go into more deeper about this, I would right off the bat say definitely consider making some sort of a list and trying to get better at identifying what's already there and giving yourself more credit when it's needed. So it's like realizing when someone gives you a compliment or holds the door open for you, and be like, see, people want to give you love. You're receiving it. Acknowledge that you're receiving it. And every time you write down even the smallest form or action of love, or again, example, when we talk about foundation, you knew how to respond. You knew what to do. You knew what to do in the past. You knew what to do now. Small little moments. It doesn't matter what size they are. When you acknowledge them, you start to tap in and realize, ooh, I am just having the wrong perspective right now. I'm doing a lot better than I'm giving myself credit for, and I'm going to own that more, essentially. That idea gets extended over here in the Judgment card and the Queen of Wands. Judgment card is so intense for you. It's super intense. Especially with the other cards. I include the Queen of Wands in this too, but the Emperor and the Empress, there is a lot of big energy with you. And the Judgment card is sort of our heeding the call card. It's huge. It's like a really big destiny card. But the best way I can put it is your destiny in connection and love is ginormous. You will experience it to great depths and emanate it and radiate it to such a degree that it's like you'll walk in a room and everyone's going to look at you. But not just because you're so beautiful. I'm sure you are. I can see it when we have a Queen of Wands, a situation, you're very attractive. But it's because your inner being beams with such an intensity people cannot ignore it. They feel it on such a deep level, even if they're not super spiritually woke and connected to things like energies and vibes and stuff like that. And this is telling us that you're fine. You're right on track. But I will say, often when people are this powerful, it can be absolutely overwhelming to experience. And we can find subtle ways to suppress our power because the best way I can put it is, okay, so when you experience enlightenment or a Kundalini experience, these big, powerful moments, surges of connection with the universe and yourself, these moments are not as peaceful as people think they are. I don't mean to burst your bubble or anything. You should still totally strive for it if you want to. It's absolutely delightful, and I personally have loved them. But it's not like calm and peaceful and happy and true sublime happiness. It's like happiness on roids. It is the best way I can put it is when I've experienced it, it's like you're in a tornado of burning light. And you feel like you're out of your mind and it is too overwhelming to experience. It's great, but it's almost like too much of a good thing type of scenario. And you kind of have to hold on and eventually allow that vibration in you to meet. But it is intense. And your intensity is bursting out the seams so much. You're so powerful. You're emanating already at this level so much that you're finding little ways to kind of hold it back because you think that you can't keep up, but that you are the being that's also producing it. You can keep up because that is the core of who you are. You're already doing it. You already are emanating. You're already there. Allow yourself to be there, essentially. And this Judgment card and this Queen of Wands both being upright is our indication, a sign of, despite what you feel, you're doing fine. You're already on the right path. You might not be connected to it, but you're already there. Allow yourself to essentially have it. And over here, and also, of course, I just want to talk about how this also talks about good judgment. Like when we talk about the foundation and your belief system and how you approach things, it's better than you realize. But last is our Queen of Wands. She's really likable. She's got the energy, experience, proactiveness when it approaches things. This is why people love her. This is, again, another positive sign from you that's like, yeah, everything's fine. Everything's great. You're good to go. Move forward. Enjoy. You're capable of doing it. You're someone who, when we think of the Queen as a leader, she's in charge of her own fate. She's in charge of how others experience her. You're good to go. It's funny. There's like a certain level of awareness I'm picking up that you are aware of how you interact with people. So if things feel like they're going wrong, you're the one that's still even in charge of that. So allow yourself to be liked. Allow yourself to be seen as desirable. Allow yourself to be a default abundance, and realize what you have built upon your foundation is solid. You're good to go. This basically was a huge compliment video. But it's also nice to know, like, you're doing fine, but allow yourself to do fine, essentially. So, consider keeping that list and starting to point those things out to yourself more. And I don't even want to say get realignment with your vibration because it's already there. and you're not off of it. It's more of your awareness of it. So yeah, if you enjoyed this reading, please consider giving the video a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell, helps out like you would not believe. Please tell me how you are going to allow yourself to see more of this love already happening inside you. Enjoy yourself. Have a lovely day. I'm wishing you the best. And yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.